you know, when he actually gets on a boat and ready for battle, and it finally pays off in this.
I like the reaction because after they have the little drink, and then we see enemy sails, and Alan like jumps up and kind of panics, and Corlys just slowly stands up. He's all, I've been waiting for this for 2 seasons.
He finishes his drink and is like,
finishes his drink, and yeah,
time to go to work.
Yep. Bring my armor. And Lohar. Oh yeah. Philosophy too.
Wanted nothing but death for this character since the introduction. Just like, please. It's just an annoying fucking plot thread, you know?
It's annoying. I'm gonna be honest. It's annoying because it's a fucking trans person and we all know who it is. Like that's part of the problem and why this shit is annoying. If it was a normal casting, I wouldn't find it quite as annoying. But it's a fucking trans person. And
based as hell. All right, let's see if the audio is working here.
And
based as hell. Oh, it did. All right, perfect.
Like we know why they were cast. We know what is happening, and it's fucking infuriating. I'm just gonna be honest.
It's from all those great video essays. Come on.
I can't remember last season if they established this character to be a male or a female, and I'm looking at the character, and all I can see.
I'm pretty sure
is a dude pretending.
They said he in last season,
and then they start saying she in this season.
They say she in this season. So. And the character in the book is written as flamboyant, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
That is true. Like, the character is written to be, like, I don't know if the character is written to be trans. Well, let's put it that way.
I don't know if the character was written to be gay.
Yes, that's what it feels like.
That's what I got the feeling. But, because in the book, Lohar dies over a dude. Like, what was God, Black Swan or something like that, right? There's some fight over a paramour, and a rival lover kills Lohar. But they changed that. So yeah, Lohar took the deal with Tywin Lannister just to get to the sea snake. It was nothing. He didn't care about the king.
It was just to just pillage Driftmark, just fuck up Corlys Velaryon because of all those
high tide,
sack
high tide.
Yes. Yeah. And I did like Shed said, I did like when it's a little bit in the future, but I did like when they are going through that narrow passageway and you get so much sailing stuff, because what we have come to know about Corlys.
Again, the production value can't be undersold of this. I mean, this looks better than a Marvel movie. Like 1,000 times better than a Marvel movie. The ships look great. The armor looks great. The dragons look great. The dragons flying around looks fucking great. Everything looks great.
And on the surface level, I could just sit back and enjoy the eye candy, basically. And there are some good story moments as well that hooked me in, and I was able to enjoy. Then there are those other moments as well.
I like Lannister armor. Lannister armor is fucking cool.
It's great. I the pauldrons, especially, it's got segments, but then they've integrated the pattern to going over those segments. I'm like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd rock that. I'd wear that all the time. So they are going to go after the sea snake himself, and they, God, they have a lot of ships. How many ships did they say they had?
Who knows? Which side? They say
the Triarchy.
The Triarchy have more ants around them, right? I think.
I think they said like 350 ships.
It's a lot.
Yeah. They had more than Corlys and the Blockade, which I think was like 100 ships. Yeah, they said, chat. I'm pretty sure they said 350, and Corlys had like 100. Something around 100. And we're like, okay, we're going to get the battle. Let's go. And then...
It's like every scene from the middle part of this episode. Here comes the battle. Hang on. Here comes the... Wait a sec. Here comes the... Okay, yeah, you can have a bit of it, but we got to check out some of that.
And I want to be clear to anybody new that the things I think all of us... I don't want to speak for all of us, but I think I will here. All of us liked about the early seasons of Game of Thrones and Night of the Seven Kingdoms was the scenes between the battles, the politicking.
Yeah.
That was the best stuff because that makes your battle feel like, well, warranted and authentic in the story instead of it just happening. But right now, I'm just like, can I get a battle so I don't have to see fucking Sheep Stealer again? Please.
Well, because the battles are still important. The battles are the ultimate payoff for all the politicking and stuff.
Yeah.
And because you are invested, it makes them so much more satisfying when they happen.
The reason they're so fucking awesome is because it's loads of payoffs that are quicker and usually more spectacular. You get a lot of crazy ones. You know, like when we talk about one of the best payoffs of season 1 was the old man walking across fucking hole.
Yeah.
It's like, because of what it means, right? But a lot of battles basically give us like a character taking the life of another character is like, that's big shit. That ends up prompting you to talk about their whole journey and why they made that decision and maybe get some cool choreography or whatever. But what I'm getting at is like, yeah, of course, we all love battles, not just for the crazy colors that you get to see on screen as everything explodes, but also because it just prompts characters to take final actions. And it's like, ooh, interesting shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this series does when it's doing things right. That's the thing that really hooks you in, where it makes the battles mean something and you're really invested, where in so much of the other shows we've been reviewing, it's just stupid action with, I think of Daredevil Born Again, where a lot of the fights were just like, he's fighting something because he's fighting and you're not invested and you don't give a crap.
You talking about when he fought Kingpin for no reason?
Yeah, they just have a fight and then he leaves because they realize that they need to get a fight. I hate that show. Don't remind me of that fucking show. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, where in this, the battle's really important and you're like, okay, and you want to see the outcome of it. And
it's so much build up to it, right? And sometimes the build up is better than other times. But when it is good and it feels rewarding and like you're not just watching slop, you have an emotional connection to the characters, you understand their intentions, you understand their motivations, and it does make the battle scenes more than just watching a random Marvel action scene in 2026. When it's
Watchers on the wall, Blackwater.
Oh god, that episode.
Exactly. And I think that while I don't think that this sequence is Watchers on the Wall, certainly I think when watching this and this action sequence that happens at the end, I think you have much more connection to the characters and understanding of what's going on and what it means than most shows that we watch, even if not everything is perfect in between.
No joke. Like when they, because we know what happens to Jace, it almost happens to him earlier on, and as he was pulling down, I thought that was the moment where they're gonna, and I was feeling like invested. I was like, nah, come on. And then when she swoops in and saved him, I felt more emotion in that than anything I've ever felt.
That was cool.
It was really good, actually. Yeah. And it's like, for a show when a woman saved it was really good. Especially if you've read the book. Especially if you know how everything ends, you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yep. So Sheep Stealer, yay, we can go right back.
Yay, Sheep Stealer. Yeah. Oh, this is where they get the word from.
Sorry, this guy's armor was peak. I was just like, that's awesome. I love it.
So we can get a good view of it.
Can we go back and look at the dragon real quick?
Oh, gotta be careful for copyright, I'm just weird. You remember where it shows up?
Isn't it right?
I think it's
right
very
close to the beginning of the sequence. He's like in the.
Oh,
there he is.
Can any of you get through? No signal here, sir.
Yeah.
It's all white noise at my end, boss.
That little,
it's
that
just
little
hit
guy.
fighting age, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So it has no rider yet?
Oh, it has a rider.
Yeah, the rider.
Carry on.
The advisor can re-establish comms. He will. In the meantime, we've got some data to retrieve.
Which is another thing I think they're going to be changing, but we'll see. But we do get to see another high tower. Orman
Hightower. I love that
Hightower.
dragon.
I mean,
that's the dragon we just got a glimpse of, right?
Yep.
Flying.
I love so much about this scene. Like the tents, they look properly medieval. The armor of the soldiers and the people around him. The guys, he's wearing a HOTD and stuff like that. Like this is where some of the set designs and the effort that they go to in this series is peak. It's really good. The biting on the horses and the detail, like this is gorgeous. I was just like, I'm drinking it in this.
So the messenger smells like shit, and he had to smell a little perfume.
Yeah.
That was funny. But he rode in with haste, so you know.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't have time.
Yeah, how long was it? How long did it take between when Allison wrote this? Again, it's a question about how long things take in Westeros.
They like to play with being vague. They use it to their advantage. They try to anyway, but sometimes it's a little bit questionable.
This is insane of Allison though, because there's no reason why this wouldn't get back to Aemond pretty quickly as a thing that happened.
Yeah. Like he doesn't know to keep it secret, so the word will get around. And she's saying it was from the king, wasn't it? Like he received it from the king.
She says King Aemon Targaryen first.
Yeah, it's signed by as him.
Is what it is.
And Ormond just goes, "Oh, he's king now, huh?" Huh.
Yeah. You may recognize him.
That's Brasso from Andor.
Oh shit!
I would not have even noticed.
No, I would. That show's burned into my mind.
I was looking at the crest on his gorget. I was like, that's a good little detail.
No, sir. I was trying to launch a torpedo.
So back to Allison.
Oh, this scene.
So no need for that, eh?
Yeah, this scene.
Sorry. Do you think they threw it in? You think they threw it in just because it's messed up and they want, the shock value in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
100%. There was no other reason. I mean, we know he's got
with these scenes at this point, like with Laris and the foot stuff.
You were gonna say it, Gary. We know he has mommy issues.
We know he has mommy issues.
We saw that in last season. Yeah, and all of Allison's kids do.
Yeah.
Right, with the exception of Daeron, who's completely removed from his mother, and Gwaine says, "Yeah, it's probably like a fucking good thing."
Yeah, he does.
That's what Gwaine says last season.
Yeah,
and it's true to a certain extent. Like this entire family's fucked up.
We remember she's the one that says it. Because he says, "Oh, it's better they've grown up against the outside of the Red Keep," and then she's like, "Well, maybe away from me," and he's like, "Oh, you did the best you could."
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a common theme in a lot of A Song of Ice and Fire stuff is parents that do certain things to their kids and then kids that then repeat those things even unwillingly or subconsciously towards their children, and Otto used Alicent. There's no question about it. Used Alicent to gain power, and then subsequently she treated her children like that because of a feud that she had with Rhaenyra. And what happens? That feud then passes on to their children, and it's too late for anyone to do anything, because you've instilled that in them.
Good summary.
They conveyed that so well in Night of the Seven Kingdoms with Egg, where if Egg stayed with his family, he was gonna basically murder his brother, and he realized that and needed to escape it. And
holy shit, man! These things one hit
for this show. Is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms came out this year, right before it, and we can compare them. And A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is better.
It's borderline immaculate, so it's bad. But to sort of highlight what you were talking about there, all the scenes with Otto in season 2 are so fucking good, and one of the last ones with Alicent, right, where she basically is falling apart. It's like, I need my dad, help me, I need to explain my failings. He's like, I'd rather not hear about it.
Yes, like 1,000%. And the amount of times that Alicent kind of walks away from her kids when they clearly need her, it is passed on.
It is.
And it's a theme in A Song of Ice and Fire. It's a theme in this show, and sometimes it's executed better than others. But yeah, she's sitting there having like a mental breakdown over all this stuff that's happened, and she's like, I have sinned. And Otto's just like,
We've got some trooper casualties.
I
don't
do
need to
not
hear
wish
it.
to hear of it.
I missed him. Bring him back.
I
He's
know.
so
And
fucking good.
Otto is just saying, hey, be a politician when I'm gone. And she's desperately trying to look for some parental advice. And he's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I gave you advice. You didn't listen.
Yeah, I hoard out your 15-year-old ass so you can be a queen. Just be grateful, okay?
Yep.
But like, it's what makes the character interesting to me because he fucked up the prior scene, right? Like, he got way too emotional with Aegon, lost his entire position, lost all of his leverage.
Well, it's hard not to get emotional.
Oh, of course. Rat catchers. I love that.
Insolent pup.
When he has that moment of appreciating Viserys, and how much he misses him, it's like, oh.
Yep. Hold the fort, Muller. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, to further praise that scene when he's like, my father, chose me as heir, and then you just have that pause, and he's like, is that what you think?
That was it. That was a fatal error.
Yeah. He had a couple fatal errors.
But it's again, I think what they did with Aegon, which is why when you go back and look at last season, when you rewatch all last season and you take it in its full context, there were some problems, especially pacing issues and what we expected versus what we got. There's some good stuff in there, and I like a lot of the Aegon stuff. To turn this person who you were very much intended to dislike in a major way throughout the entirety of season 1 and even in the beginning of season 2, you have a lot of sympathy for him because to some extent, is he a piece of shit? Does he make bad decisions? Yes. But also look at the environment and look at the fact that this person was never actually meant to be king. He was never raised or trained to be king. He was never supposed to be ready for any of this. And he gets used as a pawn by his power-hungry, kind of revenge-driven in some ways, parents or grandparents.
You can tell when rewatching season 2 that they set out to give Aegon more to like about him. Yes. Immediately giving him friends, immediately giving him like these normal aspects to his life. Because remember, at the end of season 1, they do imply like he might get balanced by the fact that he's king now. He might have something about him that's not going to be insane because he's kind of losing it by the end of that season. But he's like his relationship with his son. It's like this guy doesn't seem that bad, and then he goes mad when obviously what happens with blood and cheese, which makes sense.
Well, and he just even in the beginning, he desperately just wants to be liked, right? Yeah. Like Aegon just wants to be liked by everybody. So when all the people, all the townspeople are coming and asking for this and asking for that, and he's like, "Oh, we'll do this for you. We'll do this for you." And Otto's like, "Hey, you can't really do that for them." And he's like, "Well, why not?" It's like, "Well, it's not the way the world works." But Aegon just he wants he kind of does just want all the people to like him. And yeah, he's in a spot where he never belonged.
Of him with Sunfire as well. It was like actually cute, even though it's like a few seconds.
And Sunfire's gorgeous.
Yeah.
For a little while.
I assume is Sunfire like outright dead for this show then? I assume so.
I wouldn't bet
I wouldn't assume that.
Until we see it. Now,
what we got was Cole said Sunfire was long in the dying, and Aegon said my dragon is dead, but not necessarily definitive on that.
Correct. I wouldn't bet on it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Rook's Rest, by the way, shorter battle than this one, and way more fucking entertaining IMO.
Agreed.
I agree.
Rook's Rest is cool shit.
If they had interrupted the battle, took too long to lead up to it after the lead up from the last, and also built it up publicly. Like they've been out for months saying that the Battle of the Gullet was going to be the biggest thing we've ever seen in Game of Thrones, and it looked good. It did. It looked good. It neat.
I feel like we're missing half of it too.
It does.
If we had a few scenes of what Daemon was doing, just aim it to happen at a similar time, I feel like it would have felt like a really full experience.
My guess is that in order to film the Gullet stuff, it was probably insanely difficult.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if how difficult it was to make totally comes across on screen so you can appreciate it. It does look cool, but I don't know if it's that's what I feel, because we know how much time and money and effort they spent on it, and I don't know if that effort totally comes across on screen as.
No, I think I get what you mean.
Yeah,
because it's not like a land battle. You know, it being a sea battle means that there's a whole bunch of new logistics that they have to deal with. That, you know, you just watch it's like, oh yeah, it's like another cool battle, like all those ones I see on the land. It's like,
If we
pretty difficult to pull off.
If we were to break it up as you get, let's just say for the sake of argument, 20 sea scenes, and you knock out, let's say, 8 of them and replace 3 with Damon or Greybeards, and 1 with at least 1 or 2 scenes
sakes,
at Driftmark, just to show what happens there, and then another handful of scenes for just some other battles, maybe just in a different location that they could take advantage of with other like areas or something. It would have just made the whole thing probably feel a hell of a lot bigger.
Maybe it carries over a little bit to next episodes, because there's some things left hanging.
Yeah,
I have a feeling it's going to do the thing where it's like 1 week later, we're like, no, all right, well.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But to me, they built this thing up so much, and even some of the early reviewers were saying it's great. It's the best. And I'm like, yeah, it was cool.
It's good
looking. Yeah. It's good. I'm not saying it sucks. But like I said earlier, Watchers on the Wall, Blackwater, way more impactful.
Well, that's the thing about Watchers on the Wall I always find remarkable. It's not it's technically a major area, but in a way it's not a major area with not a major faction. It's like the least important major battle that ever takes place in the story, and it's like my favorite because of how they do it. The choreography for like how everything happens. And there's so much character work, it's ridiculous. Everyone gets a payoff in that episode. They work so hard on it, on the script.
Well, and they were building up for more than one season to it too. I mean, there was a lot going into that.
And the camera work. Neil Marshall, man, he did that, and he did Blackwater Bay.
Who did?
Neil Marshall.
Yep.
He directed The Descent. It's a really good movie.
So they make out.
Yeah.
Speaking of her expressions.
Yeah, no, she's really good at presenting as this tortured, tormented soul.
She's like...
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
No, she's gonna have. No, she has to sit through it because she needs him to go to Harrenhal, because she just betrayed her entire family, the realm, everybody.
Well, she's trying to murder her son, and basically
to save her son.
Yeah.
You know, like Rhaenyra would let him live. Like in any even if things worked out perfectly, Rhaenyra's not gonna let him live.
You can't let him live.
You can't.
They had the discussion, you know. It's like you know how this ends. Like, you can't change this. They had that discussion at the end of season 2, right? Like, and like ultimately, this scene is wild, but like ultimately, it's like her doing everything she can to manipulate him, even if that means this. But like that image of her eyes wide open while they're kissing, and this
eyes
is
wide open. Sorry.
And this is the thing where it's like, well, Nettles, Damon, do they? You know, Gary?
I mean, yeah. So I guess they could go that route.
Like if we have a different Nettles, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be nuts. That would be nuts for a Targaryen. That would be legitimately nuts for a Targaryen. No, that's the step that I don't think they would go. Has there been has a Targaryen married his own daughter and fucked his own daughter? Maybe. I mean, I can't say, you know.
The show would love to do it.
Probably at least one. I mean, yeah.
No, the show would love to do that because of the shock factor. Like, look at what we're looking at right now. They're doing this for the shock factor. And so they love to do controversial, you know, gross things to make people talk. And
yeah,
so,
there's a line, though.
I could see them totally going that way.
So before this, I couldn't see them doing that.
But now, yeah. Oh, that would be really weird.
Like if Damon sees Lena in the character, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you're going to a
Oh,
really dark place,
fucking
my brother,
boy.
but I mean, could I see Hollywood doing it? Yes.
Yeah,
I do not
absolutely.
remember this part being this fucking
That phase,
difficult.
that
Holy
screenshot is
shit,
crazy,
man.
though.
Geonosis was not this
It's
hard.
so good.
Yeah.
We all, when we were watching it, we all cringed. I couldn't watch all of it, dude. And I know they're like actors, and they're probably close to their age, right? I think Alice.
They probably are, yeah. Because
Yeah.
he's way older than his age, and I think she's probably younger than her
Younger?
age now? I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
What's her name? Emily Cook.
Yeah, she's actually really funny.
Olivia Cook.
Olivia Cook. She's in the behind the scenes stuff. She's actually one of the more funny ones.
She's likable, yeah, like in her interviews and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And a little poop.
Yeah. Oh, you got to show it. It's what was the subtitle that it had for it? Oh god, it was one of the funniest subtitles.
Flatulence continues.
Yeah, flatulence continues. Accompanied by a nice sound. Just a nice little sound. Hilarious.
What's the timestamp on that? I gotta see if I can find it. I want to screen grab.
You want to find the green
I want to
man?
screen grab that.
Crap it? Is that what you said?
I just did.
I want to screen crap the flatulence.
Flatulence continues.
I mean, I would try and find it, but I would like, be
That's
careful of a copyright. That's all.
Yeah,
I'll try-
I'll look for it. Just give me a rough. Here, I'll find it. You go ahead. Flatulence continues. That's wonderful. That is bloody wonderful.
Brilliant. I
I
love
might
it.
not get it on this because I don't know if they have closed captions and shit, but continues.
Farting and grunting. It says farting and grunting. And then it says, hang on.
Completely wrecked. How could
Flatulence
they have done
continues.
the turrets are active?
When Alice showed up, it was crazy. And
Yeah.
To slice the control console.
Yes.
This could fall apart in a hurry.
There's the green man.
There he is.
Over the turrets.
They made him a real green man, like a literal, like, mystical creature.
One leg
guys,
and
like,
everything.
so in that, when we get the glimpse of him last season, it is just a glimpse. You don't even know. It's dark and stuff. This is
This delightful is the only thing standing
this is
between you
cool.
and
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like this is a place I did not think they would go.
No.
And again, you know, we didn't know what the
Fuck
green.
is this place? Or fuck this place.
Yeah.
God.
Like, what the hell are you doing? You know. But then, like, a green man shows up, and then Alice Rivers. So
It's too bad.
I don't think they're on the Isle of Faces. I'm like, I don't think they would go there because you're not supposed to go there. And there's always some wind or there's something that prevents you from going, even if you try to sail there. There's some mystical thing that keeps you from going. But there's Alice Rivers.
Yeah, I'm a witch. Yeah. What are you? Who are you? I'm a witch.
Keep the Syria secure.
Like, all right, see ya.
Yeah, all reactions like, right, anyway, I'm going.
Yep. But she tells them, like, hey, you are missing the battle. You need to be, you know, at the gullet, basically. You're missing everything. You need to be.
Which
He's
is
like,
very
no.
satisfying to me logistically. Like man, so you know we've got this problem that Rhaenyra needs to figure out who she's gonna send to assist the gullet. And it's like you got 3 dudes right here who'll be perfect for that. And it's like, yeah, well, I guess that's not happening. It's like, can you just send, I don't know, Jace to go and tell him? It's not like it's gonna take them that long. Everyone can teleport in this anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
what do you think is the witch's plan? Who's so like? Are they just
Kill the ones with the
like,
knives first.
it's all vague?
Got
She's
support
on
coming. Are you receiving?
Damon's side, manipulating him, but now she's helping these guys out.
It's tough to know, especially considering what happens. in the
yeah,
future.
we have. I would say wait on that, Shad.
Yeah.
Because in the story they keep her specifically ambiguous. Because people fall in love with her, which Damon didn't really do. You know, Damon listened to her more than he listened to anybody else in his life.
He asked her for help.
Yes.
Daemon Targaryen asked her for help.
And then they do coy things like, do you ever sleep? You know, and she doesn't answer. And
I thought it was great because we were even asking, I think it was here, Mahler, was it you that speculated whether anyone else could even see her at certain times?
Yeah, well, it's because of the way that Harrenhal contextualizes like a lot of Daemon's experiences, right? So half of his visions, half of his people not even there. And there's that moment where he's talking at her a lot, and yeah, Simon looks over as though no one's there. It's a curious little bit I quite enjoy.
It could be interpreted like that he is looking at her like, what the fuck are you doing here? But it could also be interpreted like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that they show Daemon, and then when they cut back, she's gone, and you can say like, well, she walked behind a corner or whatever, and it's like, I don't know, just interesting. That's all.
But clearly, she is showing up to other people.
She's wacky.
What's her motive? You know, I'm more interested in her story now than I am in Loras Clubfoot, because he was a mysterious character from the book, and you really don't. And the book makes a point to say nobody knows whose side this guy is on. He is flipping all the fucking time, and we don't know what he's about. And they haven't really done a good job of showing that, in my opinion. Especially
he likes feet, okay?
He likes feet. Thanks for showing us that. But I think she works for the old gods. That's who I think she works for. I think that's her boss. It's the old gods.
Because my only concern is if the writers are not paying attention or they lose the plot and she just ends up doing random things. Where it's just like, oh, it's mysterious, and they just head away. You don't know her intentions. Where, like, if it ends up being contradictory, it's like that. Like, yeah. So
have to wait for now, I suppose.
You have to wait, Shad. There's something happens. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Something happens. Well, now we'll see if it actually happens in the show. The way things are going, I'm not really fucking sure. So, you know, there isn't a lot of Rhaenyra in this episode.
There's too much.
She only has 2 scenes. So she finds out
maybe
If you can read me,
2 or
I'm headed
3.
for the rendezvous point.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot. So she finds out about what's going on at the Gullet, and she's like, I'm gonna go.
I mean, this is really curious when you do remember that the 3 guys are just sitting there doing nothing.
I don't.
with their dragons.
They've had
like,
this
I'm gonna
conversation before. We don't send you. That would be stupid. Okay, we send other people first. Then she like makes a meme of it this time. She's like, if I die, you get to be king. Woo, bye. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
The thing is, though, like, it does play into her consistency as a character, where she's so insecure and she feels so inadequate because she's perceived as a woman, and she ends up playing into and making all the mistakes and validating everyone's doubts about her, that she's unfit for all because she's a woman. And so, like, part of me kind of likes that they're showing her so incompetent. It's like, and I don't think the writers are doing it on purpose, but they're...
Hey,
it's hard to say.
It is tough to really say, because you're clearly supposed to, like, she is clearly, like you said, the protagonist. However, I do feel like they've shown enough of her doing things that are foolish, and even like Jace admonishing her in the specific ways that he has admonished her before. Like when she slapped, who did she slap? I forget who it was, but one of her council members.
Artemis Celtigar.
Celtigar. And Jace is like, hey, you slapped him in full view of everybody, right? The idea that like some of the things she's doing is so foolish. And I mean, I loved how this played out, to be honest.
For me, I think it needs like some tweaks that just let me believe she's at least a person and is recognizing that this has been complained about it now indefinitely, and she's just not changing course at all. She's remaining retarded. And it's like, I guess if you want to commit to that, but I don't know, man. She's got like the most screen time out of every character. I think we want to give her a bit more layers instead of just having to make the same mistake again and again and again and again and again and again as people drop around it like flies. like I said, the thing to do here, obviously, is like, so we need people to support, you know, the gullet. It's like, who we got? It's like, well, you actually have 3 dragons waiting for orders. So, and they're all 3 people, no offense to them, that she considers dispensable compared to her children. So this is just like lame to me. And then of course she does her wine fest. It's just like, man, is it hard to care about her at this point.
Like, because it feels like the writers want it to come off like that it's valid, that she, you know, she's in the right and stuff, where it doesn't come off that way. It comes off like she's immature and insecure. And I'm like, yeah, she is. So
I like the way it happens for Jace. Like,
sure,
that's what I like. The fact that the Kingsguard, that everybody's like, hey, by the way, we were under orders from Prince Jace to tell the Queen to fuck off and stay locked in her room. He's going to go like do shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, even he should know that he should be going to the 3 available dragons himself.
More of those scares.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
he wants
Yes.
he wants glory, and so when he's like trying to convince her to go with him, he's like, we will save her, and stuff
Well, yeah,
like that.
because he's got unhinged eyes in that scene, which is like, oh, I see.
And it kind of takes away from everything that happened before that. It
Yeah.
undercuts it. Yeah.
Because it's kind of presenting it as if he is making a really, really stupid decision out of like sort of a
think-
wounded ego.
What they maybe needed to do for the episode is to establish the 3 dragons have to stay where they are because they're a blockade against Vhagar. As in, like, they prevent Vhagar from entering the gullet. They have to stay where they are, otherwise Vhagar can get in. So if they do that, it's like we can't move those 3 dragons. But even then, I think I would be saying, dude, borrow 1. I know it sounds crazy, but you like the 3 of those dragons are so much better than Vermax and what's the other one?
Moon Dancer.
Moon Dancer. Like those 2 put together aren't as good as one of those dragons.
Oh,
But they're much better than him going alone. And when he convinces Moon Dancer to go with him, technically that would have worked. Like he would have destroyed the army. They would have won. It was just Sheep Stealer coming in to screw up everything.
Yeah, that is kind of a good point. Like,
Yep.
it would have actually worked if not for that stupid fucking subplot breaching into the main one.
And I think it overall works with what we've seen from Jace throughout. There's a reason. Jace isn't just egotistical and wants glory. He feels the desperate desire to prove himself because of the insecurities surrounding his birth.
Yes, the chip
and
on
his
his shoulder.
and like his heritage and all of this stuff. He doesn't like the reason that he pushes back so hard, even though it was his idea to get other dragon riders about it being low-born people, is because of his insecurities about the way he was born and his birth. Like it's not just a random, oh, he's egotistical. To me, it plays in with everything we know about the character. That's why like this idea works for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. It felt, because of those reasons, in line with the character.
If they patched the 3 dragons,
All right,
that are
let's not do
available,
that
I'd be fine
again.
with it.
Yeah, I hear that.
No activity. Keep your eyes open.
But keep in mind that what her last words to her son were.
What were they? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
If I die, you'll be king. Slams the door. Yep.
That was quite a moment for me just being like, what a fucking idiot like, that you are. Like, not listen. But that's her, you know? Just lots of that.
I got a really dumb random thing to share, but it's just like, it's just one of those things, all right? You know who I am. But Jace's sword is one of the best in the friggin' series, and now he's dead. I'm not going to be able to see him use his sword again. I'm sharing a picture if you want to see what his sword is. So it's really cool.
Hang on. Oh,
I can't really pull anything up for that because.
Be advised.
That's okay. I tried to screen crap. I
Keep
did
saying that.
screen cap. Flatulence continues, and it's not on Google Chrome. It's on Brave, but they wouldn't do it on Google Chrome.
I love that sword. I want to get a replica of it so bad, but because he's a minor character and now is dead, I really don't get it. But that sword is gorgeous. Dead.
I don't know why they're not doing a full line, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy the amount of times, like rewatching season 2, of him standing exactly the way Damon stands.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Jace would have been a really good leader, so we knew he wasn't long for this world in Westeros.
Well, Fringy is pointing out that Unhinged Eyes, the whole reason that's there is so that the story sort of sends you toward, like, this is going to be tragic because he's slightly overstepped, he's a bit eager.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw the Unhinged Eyes, I said aloud, "Oh, he's gonna die."
Yep.
Like, all right,
You figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah, which it's not great when you telegraph it so obviously. But I mean, such is the case. This is what happens when you're watching TV shows. It's like you're choosing to show me this at this particular moment. I know why you're doing that. He's dead.
You know, like, I didn't want him to die, so I was just kind of trying to hold on to hope. But when he did die, I was like, of course he is going to. It's this, Game of Thrones universe. I like it.
Well, they view it as the drama, right? He locks her in, they follow that order, and then he dies for it.
Yeah.
So then Mira will be pissed off about it.
Locks her in with the white worm. With Missy.
Yeah. But it's funny to me that her stuck in there. Open the fucking door! Open it!
Yeah. So there's 3 scenes, because there's another scene with the horrific line.
When she's melting down.
When she's melting down. Yeah.
We'll get there, yeah.
So, hey, battle! It's on!
Yeah, look at them. The ships
Look at it. Ships are on fire.
Explosion! Look at it all. Wow.
Yeah.
Cole is doing things.
Yep.
It's cool. I like it a lot. Like this portion of it, specifically, everything to do with Corliss.
Yeah.
And Alan.
Shooting the arrows on the outside of the bow. I respect that.
Or where else would they shoot them?
You don't like fire arrows, though, do you, Chad?
In this case, I actually think it's perfectly justified because trying to set the other boats on fire. So that works. And you can make it work. It's difficult, especially in medieval technology. You can make it work. It's difficult. I got a video on it.
As opposed to like trying to shoot fire arrows at a person, so when you hit the person, they also catch on fire. Like,
because that'll work.
That's what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see that movie? Was it Timeline, where they, switch to night arrows?
Night arrows.
No.
Which is just normal arrows. So it's so tough. In case you didn't know, they're fighting at night and they're all shooting fire arrows, and then the commander thinks it's going to be ingenious where they'll switch to normal arrows, but he calls them night arrows, and they shoot them at night and no one can see them, and it lands on and kills everyone, and it's like, it's just normal arrows, guys. There's nothing special about it. It's just...
all this looks fucking bitchin', dude.
It's great,
does.
yeah.
It looks so good. And I like that through most of it, it's not just kind of mindless whatever, especially when we get to the scene where they're like sailing through and you have all these very direct orders and very specific things. It's not just mindless fucking things that are thrown out. Obviously a lot of like thought and planning went into parts, at least, of this battle.
Well, they build in very much a structured story of his Corliss, because they've got like some kind of old beef, right? These two.
Yeah. Lohart mentioned that, Corliss has been pretty much terrorizing the Triarchy for 20 years. Now, terrorizing meaning the Triarchy has always been trying to fuck up the shipping, and the pirates have always tried to fuck up the shipping. And the stepstones are disputed, even though they're kind of worthless, right? But Corliss has kind of beaten their ass for a long time. There's Lannister. We don't know his fate either.
So they were shooting like balls of fire. Is that just oil jars, I'm assuming? Or something
It looked like a
that?
jar of oil, yeah.
What's Greek fire, Shad? Do you have an answer for it? Because they used to have it. It used to be a thing.
It's a complicated. They think they have backwards engineered it.
It's what wildfire is kind of based on.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't work like wildfire to that extent.
But it was like napalm.
It's like oil that when you throw water on it, it causes an oil fire. That's because when you put water on an oil fire on your stove, it'll cause more fire because the water evaporates so much, then it aerates above it.
Yes.
And so the theory is it's something similar to that.
But they've never figured out what it is. But it's awesome. It was real. So yeah, man. If the fight is on, and Philosophy Tube is gonna take on the Black Valerian.
Every time that dude appears on screen, that's all I can think is like, that's a
YouTuber.
man, and it's Philosophy Tube. I don't want to see him.
I think I
Why?
saw
Because I don't even think it's necessarily a terrible performance. It's like it's distracting because we know.
Well,
that
if
make
it's, I
sense?
mean, I was fine when they were calling him a dude. I was like,
Yeah.
well, okay, like that's fine, like whatever. But yeah, it's changing it for the next season. That's what bothered me. I was like, what are we doing?
I don't think I'm ever going to be able to see a YouTuber in a fucking serious thing, and especially Philosophy Tube sucks balls. So
Yeah, it's not like it was even a good YouTuber. So when I'm in House of
dude, the
Dragon
fucking
season 4 as a
007
Greybeard.
007 game, Jacksepticeye is in the game. It's like,
Oh God, that's right.
People
Why?
went to that because
What was-
everybody got crazy about that game, saying it's great, but they have nothing specific to praise about it.
And, what was that movie with Ryan Reynolds that had all the streamers and then Pokemon
Oh,
appears?
Free
on it?
Guy. Yeah, Free Guy.
Free Guy.
That was
Sean
so
Levy, yeah, the director of Deadpool and Wolverine. What a great movie. And the director
Hey,
of
the next Star Wars movie too.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Oh, it's going to be such a crowd pleaser. The sense of adventure is going to be back in Star Wars.
Oh,
yeah, sure will be.
Quick aside, you guys get the I haven't sent it to you yet. I will. The leaked Doomsday footage.
Oh, that's been going around. Yeah, that's
I sent it to you.
fucking hilarious to me.
It looks like somebody might have. I don't know if it's just a better copy or somebody like cleaned it up, but
Right.
it's real.
well, like, not to deviate, but it's just, you know, the big circle and the cameras going to move around and stuff. It's just like, dude, we've been
I
trying
know.
to recreate Avengers
And it's all
2012.
these
Like,
movers. It's all these loser movers.
And
They've been
the effects
doing.
weren't final, but it didn't look great.
no, it didn't. It's great.
What is your later going to do against those?
The Sentinel is squashed.
It's Yelena, bro. She's gonna kick its ass. She's gonna jump up.
Yeah,
Go boom, boom,
What's he going to
boom.
do with those sticks?
Ugh. All right, back.
Nitpicking.
So yeah, this is where Lohar's like, I'm here for the sea snake. Fuck
I'll
off.
agree, but the performance is better than in season 2, but you know, it's still just like the whole thing. That hey, you know what? I like the ending.
He was in
Yeah.
that guy, too. Yeah, that had a very satisfying ending. So this
here
is
we
the
go.
scene. This is the scene.
This is the woman scene.
Yes.
It's very strange. I wasn't even sure what they were going for exactly because
Do you think they were intending it to be empowering, like a girl boss scene? Like that, they honestly thought that, or
I feel like the only interpretation is that she's petulant.
yeah, well, that's
it's gotta be right. It's
And
gotta
I
be.
stay away from the behind the scenes on these, but I might watch it to see what their mindset.
She's a
'cause
white whip. She's just like, what the fuck?
she's like, I don't even know why I'm here.
so she's cutting up a dress because she's hating that people are, you know,
Well,
not taking her seriously.
Women are supposed
She
to.
just
rip
got she just got locked in this room by men, basically, who are like,
Yes.
hey, you can't go. You're not
Yes.
allowed to make these decisions. Her son is forcing her in there, and she's having a meltdown. I do think that this like fucking temper tantrum meltdown, hopefully, can
It was
play a part
ridiculous. It
in
looked like
what's to
shit.
come for her character.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
the
I think it
confusion
will.
for me is that I could get these writers trying to make this she's showing her strength and this is so unfair for her, but simultaneously this only comes across as pathetic to me. Like,
Yeah.
so the confusion for me is like, hey writers, you want me to think this is pathetic, right? And I could see them being like, pathetic? Like, yeah.
They could see this as like, you know, the burning the bra kind of moment where it's like she's ripping up her dress because she's
Look at that.
That's the audience.
This is what I'm saying, man. Like, would they really put that in here if they weren't,
Well-
you know?
In the behind the scenes, it's Emma Darcy plays Rhaenyra. Yeah, she describes it as to have your agency denied as a maddening experience. It's control in the guise of protection. She's well aware that her warrior spirit would be heralded if she were male. So I don't know what we're meant to conclude then from
Hang on,
this.
really?
Look,
Because no, if a man was making these retarded decisions, they'd be just as critical.
Well, no, so the problem is that, like, it's one of these cases of, like, I don't know, as the writers of the show, do you not realize that Rhaenyra's made just many bad decisions at this point? She
But
just
like,
is.
every man, when
Okay.
they make the argument to her, is not saying you're a woman, you couldn't possibly do it. They're saying you're the queen, you're in charge. We
Has
need you on the board, like alive, not fucking dead.
Yeah, and if like there's certain kings that they wouldn't let out, they're like, no, you're not a warrior king.
They didn't want Aegon
We're gonna
out.
leave you here.
With Rook's Rest, like, nobody wants him fined into fucking battle all the time. They have to tell him to stop.
She has no battle experience. I mean, yeah, this is supposed to be frustration with the patriarchy scene. That's what it is. It's fucking lame. And her line, go on.
Well, I was just saying, what I find interesting, like Mauler pointed out, they were doing it with the king as well. Like, the king can't go. And so in the context of the show, like, they're actually showing that this isn't a sexist thing at all, but her reaction is the stereotypical feminist reaction that, oh, it's happening to me because I'm a woman.
They're not going to let Baelor the Blessed go out and battle, okay? They're just not. So it'd be the same situation. So her line here is...
Well, we even saw it in the last season with Aegon. They kept telling him, "Hey, you're not like going out there, bro. Like you know."
I think like, all of us have now separately brought that up.
Yes, and the thing is, to state the obvious again, she's not even on the fucking throne yet. So her cause would be dead if she died, and most of her allies would leave, and then the rest of her family would die. So this is a stupid decision.
Think about all the people that have already died for her and her cause, and she's willing to piss that all away by risking her own life and potentially getting killed.
So the line is, I may appear to have the weak and feeble body of a woman, but I possess the heart and spirit of a king.
Yeah.
So the thing for why this line just hit me is that
She's a god.
it's like it's the perfect line if you want to make fun of her.
That kind of like, is that line like actually based when you like if you take it?
Any man
literally?
who
Like,
must say, "I am the king," is no true king.
Yes.
I mean, it's like,
Yes.
is she acknowledging that women are physically more weak and feeble than men? Like is she actually?
That's what she said. I possess the feeble and weak body of a woman.
What is she saying? You know.
By the way, from a actor who is non-binary.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. But
She dresses like a K-pop singer.
I was gonna say, with the way Mysaria reacts to all of this, look, I think that Mysaria is going to continue to play both sides and eventually maybe betray Rhaenyra. At least like her confidence.
Ryan, remember what happens to Mysaria. I really hope they do that in the show.
Exactly. So is this like her beginning to realize I have chosen very poorly? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, I certainly think this is her being like, what the
Like the
fuck
writers
am I
have.
dealing with? Because that line too, the reason why I find it so funny is because it almost comes across to me, and I guess because the writers, I know them, so I'm like 50-50 on it, but it comes across as like, look how fucking idiotic she is. She's like, take me seriously as the king. I'm just as good as any king. Blah. And stuff.
I'm gonna have a temper tantrum.
It's very pathetic. It's like,
I'm not tired. It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, when you watch the scene, it's like Tywin's reaction.
Well, this is the thing, like, I don't think I'm worried because the writers could be that dumb to think this is a girl power moment, but if they're actually kind of aware and based, and they're
Did he
actually
just shoot me
portraying
with the
her as
sniper?
incompetent
What the
intentionally,
fuck was that?
I know, right? That's the concern. Is like, what's going on now?
No.
Because I could be perfectly fine with this scene. If it was...
again, it's not even just Mysaria, right? Like the handmaiden here is like, what the fuck is going on?
Right. Remember the Rainey scene that we go on about because it's really fucking stupid, where she trampled a bunch of mothers but wouldn't kill the Greens because there was a mother there. We did talk about, like, you could have used that. You could have used that later. Is like, you know, when Rainey's escape. She trampled a bunch of small folk. These people don't care about small folk. We do. I mean, there's something you could have actually used in the story, and they didn't because they didn't think about it.
I don't think that this is supposed to come off as like female empowerment.
No.
Because the females that are in the room with her think she's crazy.
It's exactly what Emma D'Arcy said. It is frustration of having your agency removed.
But
There's
also
people dying
humiliated
for her right
herself,
now.
right? Like you could say that's where it comes from, but like, what is the conclusion? Rhaenyra is kind of insolent or impotent is the word, right?
I think.
Yeah, like a woman who's had her agency removed, Massaria, like who is like a fucking horror for a long time. You know what I mean? And she looks at this and thinks it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
The fact that she can't take any accountability and is just deflecting and then
She got
blaming
herself
everyone.
there.
I know, right? But
Yeah.
then she's blaming everyone else and says, because I'm a woman, that's why you're doing it. It just feels like, you know, I've seen women act like that in the real world. So it's like, okay.
Give us some sniping.
So
Like
somebody
even
should have
having
told
her
her to
make
calm
these
down.
expressions, right? Like just struggling with destroying this bit of clothing. You just he's like, I think I get what they're doing. I hope I get what they're doing.
Oh boy. Sarah Hess writes the next 2 episodes.
Great.
Yay. Thanks, Lampshades on Fire, for delivering that great news to us. So, yeah, she cries and says, I'm a king.
And
Then
we
we're
get
back to the battle. Yes. The fleet is surrounded. They're
dragon.
deep shit, and then the dragons show up.
Bum,
This is cool.
bum, 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 ba-dum, bum,
Bum,
bum, bum.
Dracarys. And they're flying some ships, and everything's like, hey, things are turning around. And then Philosophy Tube.
This,
Well,
I
yeah.
got some PTSD with this shit.
Yes,
Let me
dude.
remind you of season 8, episode 4 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, no.
Just out of fucking nowhere, one of the most important and powerful entities in the universe gets shot in the neck and killed immediately by one scorpion shot.
Yeah.
So this, I was like, you better not hit it first try.
But then
Thing is,
what
though-
happens? Are the dragons flying too low? I would think, wouldn't they be fighting a bit more strategically? Dive bomb.
Well,
get out
you
of
can
range,
make an
dive
argument that
bomb.
they're inexperienced. These 2 riders are inexperienced.
I mean, I feel like here they have to be relatively low to get these shots on these ships, right? And it should probably move after that. I think the shot does come as he's kind of in the middle of burning a ship. But
it's just so fucking annoying. Can you at least show me at least like a bunch
couple
of guys
misses?
dying, a couple misses. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Do you remember there's the ace shot, like 1 shot, 1 kill in episode 4. Then episode 5, there's like 1,000 of them and they all miss. Because that's the plot for you. That's how it works.
What's interesting is the Euron Greyjoy from the book, I could believe getting that shot off.
Well, in the same vein, if it were Corliss or something, you'd be like, all right, it's like a power character. I'll give it to you.
Tying
not
a
on the
weight
first try.
to the harpoon. I'm like, okay, that can work. Like, they could have just set it tied to the ship. Is the ship heavy enough that the dragon would down?
Well, it's amazing that it doesn't even hit the dragon; it hits the
No, it hits
saddle.
the
Well, isn't the book? It was a part of the ship that, and that
They just ran in and
died.
died.
it kind of sinks, yeah.
And well, the weight of the ship is what rips the gut open.
Right.
You get some of that later. Sort
Yeah.
of.
As the thing is, it would depend on the dragon, right? Because if it was Vagar, it's like, well, that's a
Yeah,
big
you're not.
dragon.
No, it's not.
yeah,
think I would
Vagar just
fly
be
a
carrying that
ship
anchor around for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Vagar would lift the ship if it was attached to the ship.
But this scene, when he's getting dragged down, I was like, I was invested. I didn't want it to happen. I was feeling emotion here. And so when she comes in and saves him, that was one of those
Well,
moments.
yeah, I hate seeing I don't know. I know they're fake. I hate seeing any dragon die in this.
It's awful, actually.
Yeah.
It is.
Dragon's full of shit.
These are CGI dragons, right? They are not real. Dragons aren't real, right? However, because because a combination of their different personalities and how clearly tied the characters are to them, it is fucking awful watching these dragons die. It's brutal.
But no, it's a cool move to
I like
the
it.
road.
That was good. I like
and I
that.
like that it's Jason Bela there, you know?
Yeah, yep.
I've liked them in general.
Yeah,
throughout.
no, Jason's cool. I mean, it's a cool angle of the character. He's like got the least, you know, he's compromised essentially in his claim to the throne because of the fact that he's a bastard, and yet despite that, he's actually like pretty honorable and thoughtful and like dutiful, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Which maybe that is the problem in this world. that dooms you.
Now he's pretty high there. He's pretty high there, but yeah. So that was kind of a little for the book readers. That was a little fake out. Like, ooh, I'm like, wow, this is gonna end quick, and it didn't, which was good. And we got some more frying some ships, and then this is the part I screamed because when I saw that mountain, I thought they were back in the.
Like, no. Yeah, it's like, oh no! Oh, okay, this is
Okay, we're good.
No, yeah, 'cause I remember because it's like, oh, you've had your, you know, battle scene. They're like, no, I haven't. Go back.
No.
Like, no, we're technically still in it. We're okay.
No, and this is cool. This is really cool.
This is one of those moments where they set out the tactic in clear terms, easy to understand.
Yes.
And it feels valid and justified. Where she's going to follow us, he's going to follow us no matter what. I can lure them into a trap because I'm talented enough to get us through this, you know, horrible kind of narrow causeway. And it worked. It all worked.
Yeah.
And then they, like, the scene.
It didn't feel like exposition. It was.
There's
it was all
3 other
natural.
targets,
Oh,
and it
okay,
just
this is
every
nice.
time.
This is, a good sort of framing, because when it's a big battle out in the scene, you've got kind of a whole bunch of boats that are on fire and like fog that can look vaguely similar. It's kind of like difficult to tell who's winning, like at a glance, whereas when you start to focus it in on essentially the 2 most important ships with the most important characters on them in their own sort of isolated sequence, it makes it a bit, you can almost imagine whatever happens here kind of determines the fate of this entire battle. It makes it like more easily comprehensible for the viewer.
It's good power scaling shit too. Corliss is basically unbeatable on the water, so it's like 1 ship versus 3 in a really difficult place. So it's satisfying that you have him going through with maybe like a slight mark on the ship. He makes like a tiny mistake and it's all good. The other, like, they take heavy losses when chasing him. It's like, that's satisfying to watch.
And it also shows that when you can portray tactics that make sense, it builds the scene, and it makes the scene more satisfying when you see the plan pay off and executed well. Like, compare this to, I don't know, Thrawn's retarded tactics in Ahsoka, right? The contrast where when you have a character do a smart thing and it works out and you see the payoff, it just builds the entire you know.
And giving Corliss the helm as well, it's just like, thank you.
Yep.
It's about time.
Can we see the sea snake do some sea shit? That'd be nice. And he does.
And he nails it.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a good swimmer.
Well, we'll
Ironic.
see.
They explain that the tide's going out, so they're timing this right, and the plan was the 3 pursuing ships would all just crash on the rocks behind them if they were able to navigate through this really tight spot, which they did.
Low tide as well, because all the reefs then are gonna rocks and shit. So it's just super dangerous. And he does, like, they make it clear he nearly fucks their shit up too. Like, he just gets through.
But then Philosophy Tube sees the way he went, and he manages to get...
Yes, Shad, but they interrupt your programming for
For Sheep Stealer.
Well, when you realize, you're like, wait, what? Oh God!
It took me a second. It took me a second, and then when you started laughing, I'm like,
yeah. This is the part where I started cackling when she started burning their ships. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake! It's some bullshit.
It's crazy. It's crazy that they decided to change so much about this to have this character come in and do this and be incompetent as fuck, and like, what a mistake. Like, we spent the better part of 2 episodes and probably half of last season with like Reyna just so down about dragons and blah 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 and all this stuff just for this to happen.
So
Yeah, that's what it was all for.
no,
It's insane.
and
It's so insane.
George's
don't
Nana
need it.
blog that where he ripped into the show and then deleted it. The butterfly wings post, which I recommend everybody read. This is what he was talking about. He tried to like not go into the Nettles area. You know, I don't know if you read it, Ryan, but he really specifically did not want to mention any character, so he just kept it to dragons and why a dragon wouldn't be in the Vale, and he has specific reasons why they stay around Dragonstone and da da da.
Kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it is because his real point was, which he didn't want to say, and my guess is he didn't want to give any fodder to the chuds at all, right? But he was so pissed off about this that he wrote this whole thing and then deleted it. And he like, and a lot of it, he isn't wrong about adaptation.
I mean, I think there's two. It's not even just butterfly wing shit. This is just outright. Like, you have to draw it all the way back. This was their plan. This payoff is what they've been building toward. It's such a bad idea. In and of it, like, before we even figure out how we're going to do it logistically, how do we get Sheep Stealer where, you know, it's going to be, and how do we get her connected to it, and how do we get her over this fight? Without solving any of those problems, I'd already be like, what are you doing? What do you mean? Why would we ever need this? You've got everything you need already at the gullet. Why would she be here?
I guess, fast forwarding through the rest of this season, it is certainly going to be some awkward conversations between, like, her and her sister, and Rhaenyra. Like, it is. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen with those things, but I don't think it's worth having those interesting conversations for us to get, like, for this to be the end result. And George, he was talking about this, the absence of Nettles, which I think affects Daemon's story.
Yep.
Also, who's the other son that we should have right now, Gary?
I'm blanking on his name.
Or...
Yes. Who was that? Who's out of the story now? Which I mean,
maybe.
I think what I don't like about it is that in terms of where these, because I know it'd be exactly like what you just said, that the conversations will be awkward and they think like that's good drama. But I think what bothers me is that the only answer that she can have is, but I wanted a dragon. And it would just be various permutations, because that's it. That's all she has. She wanted a dragon, she got it, and then it fucked everything up.
Like, she was trying to help, but the dragon disobeyed her, and she lost control.
Yeah, but I think that's what I mean. It's like everything that she could possibly say is permutations of a very frustrating core motivation that's the only thing that she has. It's just not worth it to me.
It's probably going to be argued as on theme, right? Like, loads of people in Rhaenyra's camp are making these mistakes because she's a shit leader and she's putting loads of pressure on people while also telling them, you know, like, her whole thing was like, you have the best responsibility, you have to take care of the babies. And she's like, wah, I want a dragon, I want to help out too. So, you know, in a sense, it's like, well, Rhaenyra brought this on herself, much like everything else. You're just like, I don't know, man, I don't think it's worth it compared to other stuff we could be doing.
All right. Hopefully the game doesn't crash. It typically does when I alt tab. Let's get this running again.
Maylor.
Yeah.
Ryan, Maylor.
I'm sure you saw one of the freeze frames in one of these trailers, Gary, with Helena.
Yes.
The thing is, she doesn't look pregnant.
Nope.
Right now at all. So the speculation that could be the case, I don't know if I buy it. Now, what if Helena is pregnant? Baby's Amon's.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say she would have to be showing if she got knocked up before Rook's Rest. So because Aegon's, as he described,
out of commission,
dick exploded. So
a sausage on the spit, he said.
So Aemon's, have you gotten any sense that they've done it? Like, yeah, Aemon, has been trying to force her, in the past.
I think they're set up for that. Like that could be the case. Not
She's
that she would be
young for him.
participant.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's a little too young for him. He's not into anybody under mom's age.
Well, I mean, even go back to episode. God, what was it, episode 8, season 1, at Driftmark with Lena's funeral, when they're talking about like marrying Helena, and young Aemon's like, I would do it. Of course I would.
Yeah.
I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd get married and like blah blah blah. And I do feel like there's this somewhat closeness with them where I think Aemon would want to fuck her, even just to take his brother's role and all of that shit.
Yep.
But I don't think she'd be a willing participant.
That doesn't stop anybody in Song of Ice and Fire. All right, so we're back to
philosophy.
They lose 2 ships and they ditch all the Lannisters, right?
To stop them, stop hitting the rocks, they need to dump weight, and so they throw all the Lannisters overboard. And
so that's interesting. Now we didn't see him die. Now he's in his full armor, but I think it's pretty shallow where they pushed him. I think they show him sinking a little bit.
You can tread water briefly in armor. People have tested this. It will drag you down, and it's tiring as hell. But if they wanted to say that he just managed to keep his head or swim to the side a bit and then pull himself up.
Well, I'll just say
rocks,
it like he's not supposed to die.
He's not dying.
I would assume, my bet would be he's alive because they didn't show explicit death. They showed he goes overboard.
Yep.
And they just killed his brother, right? So.
Yeah. Thailand. I would be shocked if they actually.
Yeah, that would be crazy
here. I don't think they are. But.
Did they mention that? No, because it's too soon. Oh, I don't want to spoil things. Ryan, the money, what they do with the gold, with
there's a lot of things that are missing in this battle so far. That there's a lot to be resolved.
I think I need to amend my statement about being able to tread water in armor. People have done it in chainmail only. He was wearing a breastplate and boots and everything like that. Yeah, he was sinking like a stone. But if he got to the rocks and then pulled himself up, maybe.
But the thing is, we have 2 of those that happen this episode.
I was going to say, there's another one that Corliss goes in as well, right?
So if you have both of them, that's kind of... We'll see.
Or when Corliss goes in and you see his dreadlocks.
So,
it was really funny to me, that specific scene, just because you see his white Targaryen dreads flailing around in the forest.
That is so ridiculous. Just give him. They don't need to give him the white hair. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah. But we are missing in this entire sequence.
That's high tide, right?
Yeah.
What are we missing?
We're missing 2 other rather important characters.
Oh yeah.
That Reyna was supposed to be watching. So.
Oh God, yeah.
That's a huge aspect of this entire battle sequence. So I do wonder how much fallout and how much extra stuff we're going to have in the very next episode with this, because that's a rather important thing to happen.
No,
Gary freeze.
Gary gone? Okay.
Yeah. He's not moving.
It's one of the worst ones ever because he was like, well.
You're right between words. Like,
So, well, yeah, because this whole sequence is basically a long amount of time where you just get the setup of the fight and then the broadside of, because what happens here is that Alan has to take charge, right? Which is kind of good for the where they've been taking the
it
character.
was a good moment for his character. Builds him up where it's just like, all right, I got it.
It is a good payoff.
His dad's frozen watching his throne burn.
And that's
This might be it. We'll see what happens here.
Corlys is obsessed with his legacy, to the point where he loses everything. He loses his daughter because of who they married off to. He loses his son. Well, he thinks he loses his son. Actually, he's just on a fucking gay tryst with some other dude somewhere. Wherever. Will we ever see from him again? I don't know.
Is he the only one who gets a happy ending?
He loses his wife because he's kind of pushed them to do this, and that's where they end up committing to. None of his grandsons are actually his, but he's so obsessed with his legacy and them carrying on his name that he's willing to overlook these things. And this ultimately is all that's left of Corlys's legacy in his mind, and it's burning to the fucking ground. The thing that he raised up, the thing that he wanted, the thing that he brought out of, poverty to being one of the richest places, one of the richest families because of his and just his actions, and it's all burning down.
Yeah, which is why it's I didn't have any issue with it, because I think a lesser moment in a lesser show perhaps would be like, we're gonna freeze him so that we can bring the stakes back up because he's in so much good control right now. It's like, this is a good reason for him to freeze.
And certainly temporary. He comes back and he starts to.
He gets back into it, yeah. And then it just gives Alan the opportunity to
Look
sort
at
of
this
step
bug.
up in the way that he hadn't really been able. Because I remember it was a line in season 2 that the men find him distant, but now in this moment of peril, he actually knows exactly what to do and jumps into the action and does a good job.
Mm-hmm.
This ship gets fucked up though.
It does.
It really does. And I'm wondering if. Look, I don't know enough about it, but because they get rammed right in the guts, and were they just standing there for it, or were they trying to avoid it?
I think there was a line that they were turning too slow. There was something like that.
I got the impression on a broad scale that the idea is Corlys's freeze cost them the most advantage they could get, but they wanted the broadside so that they could just get full weaponry attack in the other ship, right? They just wanted everything.
That doesn't make sense with medieval ships. This isn't like a galleon with the cannons on the side, and so I think they're getting mixed up. I think they're getting their naval warfare mixed up here, to where they want to broadside someone. It's that's not how you would do it with these ones.
Well, you're talking about for this strike with their
It's Corlys's ship seems caught in a really bad position, even though they had time to prepare to an extent.
Yeah, it would be devastating in this type of environment. You know what I mean? The one thing that I don't understand is how they're going so fucking fat. I get the rowing and everything, but you would think you would want your sail down too in the moment. But yeah, dude.
And the ship didn't look big enough to split the other one in two, because that's what eventually does.
They had
also
driving in.
It felt somewhat to me like Corlys's would have been the easy victor, considering as well that half the crew got tossed off, a bunch of their resources did, and they took a beating in the teeth, so to speak. So you would have thought that, and Corlys has got the bigger
really
ship.
even. This isn't an even fight, but
Can,
it's kind of.
can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. So I was back, and I could see myself talking and stuff, and I had to go into my phone, and it's it wasn't showing me. I was back the whole. I'm like, guys.
We heard you, Gary. We were just talking. Yeah.
Oh fuck you.
No, you were not back for us.
Okay, because my phone fell on my keyboard. I wanted to talk about the young princes really quick. Yeah, so it's because the timing's off, right? The timing's off for so much stuff that they can't have. I don't know what they're gonna do. Supposedly, the young princes were supposed to be sent away, and they were in a ship called the Gay Abandon.
Gay Abandon.
Yes, that was going. Where were they going again?
Pentos.
Pentos. and it was heading right into the Triarchy fleet, and they didn't know the Triarchy fleet was coming when they sent those 2 kids off to be safe, and they get intercepted, right? And one flies back on a dragon, and the other one gets taken. So I don't know if they're going to do that later. It wouldn't make any fucking sense later, though.
That's what I mean. That is one thing that is very much missing from this, because it's more than just what happens to Jace. It's also the fact that you have these other kids that get scarred.
I don't think it
Your
happens.
dad, like all this stuff, and obviously none of that was covered in this episode.
But I don't know how they could do it now, because the timing is so off and
The
weird.
dragon's too little. A lot of
Yeah, the dragon's too little, so I think they just forget about it.
the gay abandoned,
The gay abandoned.
which they made sure to mention in last season.
They did.
Sure, it was in the context of gay meaning.
Look at that, though. That's pretty cool. Okay.
It looks cool.
It does,
It
but then the
looks
entire
cool.
ship splits
I'm-
in two, where they're not showing that.
I am separating what makes sense.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I guess what they're
This
trying
was
to
a
say that
strategy. This was a strategy at times in naval warfare. Like,
yeah, it was. The
legitimately.
ramming was.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
what
fine
they're
with the
trying to say
ramming
is, like,
choice.
the
Why is
initial
Paulus's
crack-
ship so exposed?
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
question. And I guess they're trying to say that this initial crack causes like a weakness that the ship's own weight breaks it apart.
It
further.
breaks in half, and it stays afloat for a long time for a ship that maybe they could. I don't know. I wasn't around back then. But
Are their fucking sails on fire and shit? Like, everybody's fucked.
So this boarding rope thing, that was kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess.
a
yeah,
zip line. Yeah, kind of.
Maybe. I'll have to think about it more. Some more.
Listen, it's not the worst thing in this fucking episode, Shad.
No,
Okay?
no, it's not.
It's
So
not.
anyway, on that note, Gary,
yeah.
Sheep Stealer.
Sheep's fuck. Sheep Stealer somehow made it from
my
the
God,
Vale of
Gary.
Aaron to this.
Sheep Stealer has a coke nail.
Doesn't this?
Oh,
remind-
yeah.
You know what I thought while I was watching this, Gary? Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes.
Buckbeak.
Absolutely.
When Buckbeak is just grazing the water.
Grazing the water a little bit with that great John Williams music. Good stuff. But this is I don't know. They made a point to mention. I know Condell said somewhere that they weren't going to do the Westeros Express. Like they mentioned that like nicely as being a problem, which everybody thought was a problem. This is the Westeros Express. Even yes, she's on a dragon, but it still takes time.
Yeah.
It's tough because we watching these sequences are assuming that when she is fucking around in the Vale that it's happening exactly at the same time as the
Which
rest
it's obviously
of these
not.
things are happening. Maybe it isn't.
Which is hugely
but-
coincidental, right?
Yeah.
It's hugely coincidental, and it's on the storytellers and the filmmakers to make it feel like some time has passed instead of jumping around. Like the letter. I mean, I guess I can kind of buy the letter. Okay, that was 2 weeks later. Probably 2 weeks, right? That would be traveling time. But
It didn't feel like 2 weeks in this fucking thing.
didn't
Like,
feel like it. Didn't feel like it. So Sheep Stealer's coming in, and Sheep Stealer's out of control.
Chief
Like, just-
Stealer does look awesome, though. I will
Great.
say. I like the design and how, like especially like the wings. It just looks a little more kind of like rabid.
Is
Yeah.
is Sheep Stealer like burning all the boats? Like not
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
that's-
that's where it's
Valerian.
one of the-
Yeah. Burning Valerian
It's
boats.
the cackling pugs you just get like him being
It's
like
so
no,
funny.
and it's just like oh my god.
It's so stupid.
Take them out from
What an
there.
idiot.
They are not the
I mean-
enemy.
like it's dumb on her behalf. Yeah, they're not the, like
Maneuver.
I can see a character being this stupid though, you know, and like it's a dragon that is not trained or tamed properly and losing control, and so that part is valid. It's just I
No,
guess what led up to it.
Nettles was a competent. No, okay, sorry.
So the thing is that it's less of a matter of like it is in character, but I don't need to see this character, you know? Like if this is going to occupy a huge amount of time and essentially facilitate what's going to happen at the end of this episode, you've got a finite amount of time in your show. You've got all of the choices that you could possibly make. I just don't want to see this.
She got Jace killed.
Well, yes, and that's worthy to be pissed off about. I agree.
Exactly. Like, yeah,
but I don't necessarily think it's out of character. I'm just
no.
I don't think that's the criticism.
It is in character. It's just that this character is intensely frustrating.
I think if you wanted to make this is a good point to make. You have a nuclear weapon here. And you just jumped on it, and it's very dangerous. And I'm not against them showing a scene of a dragon going off and killing a bunch of innocents to show like the danger of this, and this is why you need to train and blah 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 blah.
Especially a wild dragon that has never had a bonded rider, that is completely out there, right? This is not the same as a dragon that's been sitting at a dragon pit for a couple years, who's had 3 different riders. This is a very different experience. But sorry, Gary, go ahead.
No, I think that's their intention. I'm sure it's going to be, well, these are very dangerous things. We're going to show how dangerous dragons are. And but it
and everything that got her
undercuts
here
the
is
scene.
hyper contrived, right? Like
Yes.
every other element, all
Yes.
the plot and world building shit that got her here. And then, of course, like instead of seeing the progression of the battle and Jace maybe taking arrow after arrow, dodging spears and getting hit but coming back up, saving Baylor, and just basically losing that health bar over the course of the fight, as opposed to he basically is kind of perfect. He makes like one mistake early and he's all good, and then dies because of her.
Yep.
So it's very like, wow, okay.
Corliss.
Corliss is knocked out.
It gets going right here, though. I will say.
Yeah, this is the best part of the episode. I love all of this.
No, it gets
just
brutal.
give it to me. This is what
he's using like a Kopesh thing. I'm like, okay, I'm into that.
I'm here for swords and fire and screaming and blood.
It's an R-rated stream now.
All right, that
R-rated stream.
who went under the water there? That wasn't.
I think it's just
I think that was a
Random guy.
Random
Yeah.
guy?
Oh wait, no.
Wait, sorry, Alan. He's not quite random.
He's all right. He'll be
Alan.
Fine.
Alan's fine. He does some fighting,
Let's look for more
Ah.
squad.
and he
Alan?
takes off his armor. He
He
gets
does.
his armor
He
off quick.
sheds it. Well, at least his hat.
No, he eventually takes the rest.
He takes the whole thing. He gets back to his iconic blue shirt.
Yep,
Icon.
it's iconic.
I bet you see him reaching up to the pauldron to get it off. So, yeah.
The thing, so I like Alan's arc that we have in this.
Yes,
What I dislike is how old he is, and
he looks old.
he should be young. He should be like 17, 18, whatever.
He's
The
like
problem is he
LeBron.
looks like he's 30-fucking-7.
He's like
And
a
the
LeBron
idea that he's,
26.
like, just coming into his own and finding his place. Like, come on. Like, at 37 years old in this universe, you'd almost be dead already. Like,
Dude, you would be. I mean, like, listen, John was supposed to be, what, 15 in the beginning?
Everyone got aged up.
Yeah, everybody got aged up.
and I'm fine with a little aging up, so we make sure like the sex isn't weird, right? That's a purpose to age up these characters.
I think that's a good reason.
Like, that's a decent reason. What I don't like is someone like Alan, who should be relatively young, being like,
Yeah, he looks 30,
he looks older than that, I think.
35.
Is that Abubakar Salim? Is that who that actor is?
Sure.
Yes.
Abubakar Salim, yes.
Yeah.
How did you remember that?
He's 33. Okay. So he's
Yeah.
33.
I wasn't far off.
I didn't know. Black don't crack, you know. I thought maybe he could have been a little older, but
LeBron looked like he was 40 when he was 19. So,
well, that's all the TRT.
yep. Yeah, it worked out for him. So she's now obey me, and Sheep Stealer is trying to like
Just kill everything.
kill everything.
Yep. Things are shooting at it. So
And eat the other dragons.
Well, the other two dragons think this is like a challenge of we've got to take this dragon out. This is their response.
Yeah.
Yep.
Until they realize.
Until they realize. I hate everything about it, and I think it really fucks up this what could have been a really good battle scene, and it gets fucked up, and I think it fucks up Jace's death scene.
It tilts everything.
How does Jace die in the books? He just eventually gets whittled down and shot down.
It's very quick
he gets
description.
shot like this.
He gets shot at the end. They pretty much describe. I mean, he in the book it's a history, so they don't get into the details of the battle. They get into how battles start and who dies. And so they just describe to you how he dies, and they give you 3 different perspectives, and you know.
They do basically say that he gets like that. That Vermax gets shot, like drugged down, basically like that, and Jace ends up dying. But you don't get.
Yeah, the hook is in Vermax, and it's connected. It's tethered to a ship, right? So the weight of the ship rips his gut open.
Okay, because look, this is a very big difference then, because in the books,
yes,
his death is his own fault. In this, it's completely her fault. So screwing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just fucking annoying.
I mean, his death in the book,
Jace.
his death in the book is presented as like a lucky fucking shot. Somebody got off a lucky shot, right? And it may be due to inexperience too, and you know, it's not a big enough dragon to like certain things would just bounce. Like you said, the bigger the dragon, it would just bounce off. Any bolt would just bounce off.
This was freaking brutal, though.
Yeah.
It looks great though.
Yeah, then it just flies away, and it's just like, fuck.
You dick.
That's not all she can do. Is like
Sheep Stealer's a dick.
Hope. Like, what is she? I don't know what she does now. I don't know how any of these people react to this. After she abandoned the 2 other kids to get the heir to the throne killed, and that is also, and this is why I think they did it. I don't like that they did it, but I think they did it because it's going to create all this fucking interpersonal drama.
Yeah.
Like your sister, you just killed your sister's future husband. Like,
I don't know how to say it other than I think it's crap interpersonal drama.
yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think of why they did it. I think that's why they did it. I think it's a poor decision, but I don't know how any of it's going to work out because it's all uncharted territory.
She goes to the Black Council. She's like, "Good news, I have a dragon." And she's like, they all celebrate, like clap, yay! It's like, what was the bad news? Like, okay, sit down.
Vermax is gone. Jace is dead. Your other 2 kids that I was supposed to watch, don't know where the fuck they went.
Oh, and you know who was supposed to be in this battle? All the fucking dragon seeds.
Yeah, I was gonna Adam and Ulf and
Ulf and Nettles.
They are weirdly absent, aren't they?
Yeah.
Is Hugh? Did Hugh not come to this?
No.
So was Nettles even supposed to be in this battle?
Yes, Nettles was supposed to be in this battle. The dragon seeds were at this battle.
Dude, that sucks that the dragon's bleeding out and drowning.
Yeah. And him like just screaming Vermax.
And my guess is budget.
God. This is. I mean, I think it's really well done because it makes us feel really shitty.
Yeah. This is.
Well, when Jace gets shot, I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
Actually, like, that's honestly one of my favorite parts in terms of just how brutally realistic it is that these guys in this fight are desperate to take out the dragon because it's such it's just a warhead that's taken out all of their friends. They get the shot, this thing goes down, he swims back up, and then they're like, hey guys, just get him and we're good, and they do, and then they cheer, and that's it.
They cheer. And they should.
Well, because
Like,
this
literally,
fucking
take your victory
monster
lap.
to them. He just drove around like a flying dinosaur, breathing fire and just destroying everything. And they got him. It's like, we did it, guys. We got him. But for us, it's like, no.
I know. And then, yeah.
Just like very unceremonious.
Yeah.
You know?
Like how it would go. It's like, just nail him and we got this. And
Sarah,
and like
Prince.
sometimes I wonder, was there anything he could have done to save his life? Not like, not much. Like his death is pretty justified here.
Oh, that was it. He was dead right there. Ugh. Brutal. We all like Jace. He was a good bastard. And he died because of his stupid
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't his fault, really.
Cousin,
Half cousin,
cousin, sister,
cousin,
mom,
future
dad.
sister-in-law.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
I
how
had to think about it.
Half cousin once removed. Because in theory, they should have been actually very close, because it would have been Rhaenyra and Laenor,
Yep.
and then Laenor's sister and Daemon. But in reality, they don't have as direct blood connection as people would have thought they did.
No.
So the incest wasn't as bad.
So their kids probably would have been normal.
Probably. Well, except for half black, but yeah.
Their kids would have been more. Do you guys think that they should have, because he sinks to the bottom, that they should have cut the black right there? I kind of think they should have. I think they
I
should
mean,
have.
this is probably the thing to end on rather than having a little bit extra.
They went a little extra, and I'm like,
It's kind of weird.
I would have cut on this. But they didn't. They give us some like panning shot right after that.
Well, my player's fucking frozen. Hang on.
Is it?
Cancel maneuver, Delta. Abandon turret, Delta.
And we have
That's
Tywin
right.
Lannister. Yeah, that probably would have been a better shot to end it, in my opinion. It's got a little more weight to it.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
instead of just seeing the fallout, I guess.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
now
we
the
just-
ship is in two completely.
well, if we kind of did all of the Vermax stuff in a row. We get the Corliss like boss fight, and then they both end up in the water, I think.
So like,
Yeah.
Corlys is about to kill Philosophy Tube, and then like,
I love that we're just calling him that. I love the character name.
and like Shirako Lohar, is that what we're supposed to say?
Oh, is that why the ship further cracks apart to hit a reef?
Yes, exactly. That's why it
Oh,
happens. And then when that
Okay.
happens, Corlys goes like flying off, and then Alan is like, "All right, it's my time. My time is now." You know, and
Yep.
he jumps over there, leaps over there, and tries to finish the job. But yeah, they run right into that.
Okay.
Assistant Commando.
That was a great fight, and
That's when he
Philosophy
gets
Tube
knocked
gets
into the water.
He gets
A
that
knife in the
stinging
neck.
red face of like,
Yeah.
"Killed my father, now you
It's
die."
just for a character that is often very stoic
Yeah.
to have him just sort of freak out.
And it kind of works that they're right there by the rocks too, because you have some water that is deep enough for people to drown in, but you have others that you can kind of stand on, like
Yeah.
for the fight and everything. So, yeah.
And look, I like that he called out father when Corlys goes
Yep.
overboard.
Yes.
showing that,
Yeah.
I did too. Oh,
Tries to drown
oh, that's the shot right there.
the several attempts at drowning, I was like, I think you're gonna need something a bit more final, because when you're dealing with sea people, it's like you can never be sure.
See people.
A Greyjoy priest might
Yeah, they might just get
drown
powered
God
up by
priest
it,
might
so-
yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid copyright here, but yeah, he gets the knife, and boom.
Bye bye. Philosophy Tube.
It's
Maybe
if I
he'll be Acolyte season 2.
if I tried if I remove the fact that I know this is a YouTuber and I know there's a trans person and everything, I actually think it's like a decent episode for that character. The problem is I can't, like, I know all these things.
Yeah,
And
I can't see
it's
no one
incredibly
else.
distracting.
Well, when I heard they cast Philosophy Tube, I knew the character they cast him for. Like, it had
Yes.
to be Lohar.
Did you remember,
had to be Lohar.
wasn't it Ed Sheeran that was in Game of Thrones at one point?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just, you see that and you're just like, what?
You're just calling attention to who they are beyond the story that you're
That's,
telling. That's what's happening. So it's kind of just distracting. It's like, you're a YouTuber. Why are you here in this medieval fantasy world?
A stupid cameo like that it breaks the immersion. especially the Ed Sheeran
I
thing.
think
I
they
fucking
have to
hated
accept
that.
breaks the immersion. That's like kind of the point. It's the reason why it's like when you have famous people show up in video games. You know, it's like, damn man, you're really like distracting me from. I think it's a bit of a problem, honestly. It's like how video game characters used to just be like totally fictional people that didn't exist in any capacity in the real world. But then, like, the more that you insert actors in, it's like, oh, well, I think of you less as the character in the game, but more as like the actor that I also see in other things. Like, why surrender the ability to get people more immersed by getting like recognizable faces in your stories?
Yeah, how does that help? Like,
When
it's-
you do there's a fighting bit part of 007, you walk out of it, and then Shroud, who's apparently a streamer, is like, well done, dude, what a great performance. And you're just like, what the,
You know what? I agree with everything you guys are saying, but if I ever have the opportunity in the future, which will never happen, to be in Game of Thrones, I'm totally taking it.
And we'll make fun of
No,
it.
I mean, the thing is,
I can play a gray beard.
Yeah,
How could you?
Put their hand up to do
And
it.
you're
I
young.
understand why anybody would want to do
I would
it. I'm just
totally
saying,
do it.
Yeah.
people making it should think a bit harder about it.
Yeah, they should. It's unnecessary, but yeah, this episode, and again, I just went and rewatched it after Jace sinks in. They do a shot of Alan stepping up on the ship, and then they do a sweeping shot of the battle, which maybe means we're gonna get more of it next episode.
Ooh, I'm not
I wouldn't
sure.
count on it though.
I get the impression that that last shot is look at the casualties of this crazy battle that you got to see a lot of. Like, I got to see some of it. I did some of it.
Hey,
for
at
sure.
least we could see this battle. Okay, so credit to them. You don't have to get a better TV. Yeah,
Look at that shot. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
that's a good shot.
It looks great. It's a very nice looking show.
I think the battle was good, like overall, and I think there's some things we should change. I hate the Reyna stuff, obviously, but in terms of like the execution of it,
I agree. I like it. I think it's cool, but I wish we got more.
Yep.
I really do.
yeah,
I feel still the episode itself is mixed. There's just too many
Yes.
things that
Yeah.
they're doing that I don't like.
It's interesting because if I was to segment the things that I really liked just separate, easy 8, 9 out of 10. But because you balance it out with all the other kind of things that are a bit like, it's more around 6 out of 10 territory for me at the moment. And I'm still enjoying it. I enjoyed the episode overall, and there were parts that I really liked, So
Yeah, the battle was good. I think that's a good description, right? It's good. It didn't suck. It wasn't what they made it out to be, though. Let's be real.
No, I think that for 2 seasons of waiting for something that we all know was meant to be part of season 2, I think it underdelivers in that sense. But I guess taken on its own, it's quite entertaining battle sequences.
Thank you
That
for
is-
making Corliss badass for once.
Yep.
Ryan said earlier, like, if this were episode 9 and we had 10 and then the end of the season, I think it would have gone over way better.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
that's what I've kind of because now you have different expectations with it being the season opener. You have to do kind of these little recaps of these characters. The thing that is the worst part about season 8 is kind of how it ends because there's no real finale and it feels like you're building up to something that never happens. And I think if this is episode 9 and then we get kind of the fallout from this in episode 10, very traditional Game of Thrones fashion, I feel like season 2 would have been received better than it
probably.
was.
And it does have that problem in between that ending that we never got, and now it's kind of here, was a really great 6-episode season of television set in the same world. Tight, very entertaining thematically, really very poignant, and that was right in the middle of this big gap. So it's a thing to compare to, and I think the comparison is not favorable to at least this episode right now.
Run, and half these ships are burning because like Sheep Stealer just burned. Like, you know what I mean? Some of these are like Valarian ships that are burning.
Yes.
because of Sheep Stealer, who is Corliss's fucking granddaughter.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, not just Jace, but that too. That's a lot of innocent, that's a lot of your guys.
Listen, what we're realizing is there's a lot of talking to be done now.
there really is, and if they're gonna be honest and realistic, right? no one would ever trust that stupid girl again to outride a dragon or do anything.
The only time she's useful, she's like a grenade. You just toss her into the enemy side of the battlefield.
Yeah, she cannot be on that dragon ever again.
This is what I'm saying, though. When it comes to the Nettles absence, and when it comes to if she could actually be Nettles, I think one of the only people that's going to have her back is her father, Damon, who has just gone through these visions, repeatedly being kind of guilt-tripped by visions of Lena and being asked, are you there for the girls? Did you stay strong for the girls? All this stuff. And I think Damon is going to try to defend and protect her. They might go fuck off by themselves for a while. You know?
Yeah. That's a different way to do it.
I don't think they're gonna fuck, but I'm just saying.
But it takes away from the fact that Sheep Stealer was a dragon that Nettles could control, and we got to see what the aftermath. I don't want to spoil anything, but she says something after the battle, right? To the other dragon seeds. So, well, see, God, I already spoiled enough. I don't want to spoil too much more.
You know, episode 1, we got 3 hours of discussion out of it, so it's not like nothing's happening or anything.
Yeah, we did. It's time to get to the people. How's everybody doing? Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably be able to give 10 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna have to go. I'm afraid.
Gotcha. Guys, do what you need to do. Yeah, I got to get up freaking early and go to Wisconsin. I guess not too early now. Oh well. Yapping Tom for $2.79. I need to find a who says, "Show, look how badass Lohar is," and then I have a media asset for that if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Woke. There you go. John Campia, who says Supergirl's going to make $1 billion. By the way,
Easily.
Ryan, do you think Supergirl comes in number 2 next week at the box office?
Yes.
I think that's a good
God, I hope so. Please.
I said on the stream, I think that Supergirl's going to end up in that like $50 to $55 million range.
Yeah.
You know? But with that being said, Toy Story opened 160. Even if it had a 66% drop off, still above 50 million for second weekend. So it's certainly possible.
Even if it's close, that's kind of bad.
It's embarrassing.
Penn's fan for life for $2 says only good thing about Sheep Stealer is the design. I would agree with that. Everything about the
He looks cool, like his teeth, his wings.
I would have been so happy for him to just, after every scene of it, chasing him to just eat her. I would have been like, yeah.
And then another mystery black girl comes out and tames him, and it's like, hey, it's Nettles. That would have been such a crazy retcon from Condo, though.
Well, how about we just kill 2 birds with 1 stone? It's Mushroom that jumps onto.
Oh,
yeah. The show misses Mushroom. Folk Q for $5 says we're going to get GTA 7 before we get Wins a Winner. Yeah. Because you're never getting Wins a Winner.
That's not even a joke statement.
No, it's not.
Happen.
He essentially said he's giving, when he hinted, and we got our Hilts hurt coming up next, so. Hail Blood Logan. But I just want to say, he said, when he mentioned that I could go, I feel like I could get wins done if I just, did some more Duncan Egg books and got the next Fire and Blood book done. That's what he's doing. That's absolutely what he's doing.
He's been very quiet on Not a Vlog.
That means he's not getting any work done.
Yeah.
Well, I think
he likes to brag when he's getting shit done. He brags about it, right? He's like, "Oh, I did a Tyrion chapter today." It's like he's so desperate for people to fucking give him credit for anything. Like if he's doing stuff, he will tell you about it, but he's not doing anything. He's a fat lazy fuck.
Yep. Our Hilts hurt. Philosophy Tube is the worst actor in all of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Well, considering he's pretending to be a woman who's pretending to be a man. And
he's supposed to be acting full time then. Yeah. I mean, is he worse than Mysteria though?
Ooh.
She's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
She's pretty bad. Pale blooded.
Oh boy,
I
it's
possess
falling
the
apart.
spirit of
Here
a
we
king.
go.
No, you don't, honey. Yapping Tom for
That's what I mean.
$2.79.
What I meant about that line, a lot of people were like, that line was cringe-worthy. And I read it as like the show was kind of making fun of her or something, but I could be wrong. Let's just see how everything turns out.
The thing that got me was Mysteria's reaction to it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not fat. He's big boned.
Who, George?
Roundira. Maybe Roundira. Dude, that's the best. Season 2 was only 8 episodes because of the writer's strike. What excuse are they using this time since the season is also only 8 episodes?
wait.
Shake my head.
That's
me
not
if I'm
wrong.
wrong.
It was 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the writer's strike meant they couldn't reformat and thus save the season from ending like shit.
Yep.
The reason was they didn't want to spend the extra $50 million or whatever. These are like $25 million an
Huge
episode.
mistake.
It was
Something like that.
It was Casey Bloys and David Zaslav cutting the budget.
Cutting the budget so they could pretend the company is more profitable than it actually was so they could sell the company.
Yep.
That's why it happened. But the writer's strike, like Mueller said, they wrote it for 10 episodes. HBO came in and said, no, you can only do 8, and they could not rewrite it. So that's why episode 8 didn't feel like a season finale.
Yeah, like in theory they could have like conjoined 8 and 9, cut out a lot of talking, move in more battles, try to get an actual ending to season 2 that was the gullet. They could have tried it, but like Ryan Strike meant they couldn't rewrite it all, so
No.
they were fucked. What a stupid move, like in retrospect, holy shit.
Jim782 has been a member for 56 months. Hell, brother. That was balls and looked like shit.
It's GG.
I mean, I thought it looked good.
I think it
looked
looked pretty good.
Oh, look good. Story wasn't very good. Thought the episode was okay, fairly underwhelming. It's funny how the woke writers trying to turn Rhaenyra and Alicent into girl boss types is only making them look dumber and dumber.
If that continues on like that, that might end up being my favorite part of this entire series.
It might. One review I saw, it was Emergency Awesome, and it was spoiler free, but he specifically said, if you didn't like the Rhaenyra Alicent stuff in season 2, you're probably not going to like it here, because he's seen a bunch of episodes. So. There she is, Roundira the Cruel for $4.99. I really hate Rhaena. Absolute worst. Sheep Stealer is cool, though. It would be funny to me if Hot Dragon turned out to be worse than Game of Thrones, because fuck George R. R. Martin.
That is tough competition. Like, if we get a bad season, remember, season 8 is abominable. Like, we're dealing with something special at that point.
And season 7 isn't far behind.
Well, I think season 1 was very good. I don't think you can say that season 1 is the same level as like the top tier when Game of Thrones, right? So it doesn't have that as far to fall, and I don't think it's going to be that bad as season 8. So it'd be tough for it to, I feel like it'd be tough for it to do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of recency bias, and a lot of people like the downfall of Stranger Things and The Boy is bigger than Game of Thrones. It's like Silence Child. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Our hilts hurt for $4.99. They know me so well. Gary, how hard did you get when you saw the Green Man again? Did you need to take a cold shower? I'm going to take one right after the stream. Pretty hard. It was awesome.
I'm gonna be on Our Hills Hurt. They're doing a live stream, I think tomorrow at like 8 p.m. Eastern.
My invite must have got lost in the email.
Must have. I think I'm gonna go on there for a little bit because I have FML as well, but I'm gonna go on there for a little bit.
Go subscribe to Our Hills Hurt.
Go check out Our Hills Hurt.
Their last couple videos were pretty good, despite them being complete dicks.
Who to root for in?
Yeah. In one video, they're talking about Aegon, and they're like, hey, he's good. I mean, the whole rape thing, we can't believe her. Nobody was really there. We don't know what happened.
Some of their funniest videos are the ones that piss everybody off, like the mountain did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Pluto hasn't completed its first orbit since its discovery, but you'll know it actually completes it, unlike George with his books. Yeah.
I think George writes one word per Pluto completing its orbit.
Yes.
Oh, so one word every what, like 250 years then?
Oh, you know he's off the internet today. You know, George, he knows exactly what day it is.
Why don't we just fly out of here?
And I don't think he's watching House of the Dragon. Do you think George watched this?
No, he.
Yeah.
You do?
Oh,
What's he gonna be doing instead? Fucking writing? As if.
Gary, he probably does watch it with someone and like yell at them about all the things they're getting wrong. He probably does.
That'd be a great stream. Not
It'd be
gonna
funny
lie.
as fuck, yeah.
Corliss ship in the past was very One Piece like, especially from season 2. Yeah. What's up with all the bokeh close-ups in this one? Do you know what that is, guys?
They just mean like there's a lot of shots that were close up to people's faces. There were a bunch in this one.
Yes. Ryan Condell directed it.
a lot of philosophy tube right in your face.
Yep. Well, he's been unsubscribed. Cheers to at least having something to talk about. Yes, we managed to. We could talk about anything. Let's be real. But thank you for being a member for 26 months. Citizen Vigilante, $7 on Prime, crazy based. I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah, it might be. It might be one of the most. I mean, in the turf-based movies. Is it high art? No. But I don't think it's expected to be. As far as a Yui Boll film is concerned, it's one of his better films by far. Yeah, interesting watch. Not anything they'll make in Hollywood. But, I mean, it's Death Wish. You can pick the number. But it's Death Wish. But yeah, I saw it. I liked it. Rhaenyra's story is small but effective at showing the virtue of patience and duty. What are they going to do with Morning Now after the Morning Now after this? Well, she's probably gonna. Well, there's a lot to do, and I can't say much.
Lots of conversation.
She'll be sad. She will be sad.
Why do we always get the tough jobs?
Now, the whole Rhaena and Sheep Stealer thing. I certainly hope that gets brought up. I certainly hope that doesn't get forgotten, like Rhaenys blasting out of the dragon pit. We'll see. Pens Fan for Life has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships. Thank you very much. Hail. Captain Cunt was so unbelievable. No verisimilitude. Not even good for comic relief. Fear me, sorority girl, perfect teeth. They have good teeth for a medieval society, Chad.
And even for a lot of British actors in general.
You know, that's actually a bit of a misconception. The bad teeth comes from much later when the British people started to eat heaps of sugar and their teeth rotted there. In the medieval period, because they didn't eat as much sugar, their teeth didn't get nearly as bad as.
But they had. Well, I mean, that's not medieval. I'm going back to ancient Egypt.
But also, I mean, they'd be like crooked and uneven, right? Because there were no braces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't be as bad as they are.
That's part of good teeth.
In terms of rotting black and stuff.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But people would die of abscess because there would be too much grains of sand in their bread, and it would just grind up their teeth. And pharaohs died like that.
They died from a lot of different things.
Yeah,
including age. That'll get you.
Rarely did they die.
Infant mortality.
Does anyone really die of age?
No. So they replaced Nettles with another black character. Can we say they reneged?
I think that's... Especially you could say that Ryan Condal reneged on his promises to George maybe about staying faithful. I think that's appropriate.
Movie Erotic for 2. Gary, please review Spider-Man Noir on the main channel. Nah, that's gonna be a Nerdrotic Daily. That's a Nerdrotic Daily. I liked it though. I thought it was neat. I hate Alicent conspiring to murder her own son and Helena siding with Damon, who murdered her son in front of her. I hate Kevin Feige, by the way, for $5. Why didn't Bela either grab Jace or burn the ship?
I was going to ask about this because I don't know if they accounted for where she went once he went down.
She had a very short moment to do that, but that's why they, he got plucked by arrows.
Yeah.
Still
She
something
did
you're
make a
gonna
pass, but it was just a little too late, basically, to try to redo the same thing that she could have done. And I do not know, like, she kind of goes out of frame and, like, basically starts like a circle, maybe to potentially come back. I do not know.
Jace should have grabbed all those wooden planks floating around him, used them as like a barrier to protect
Well,
him from the arrows. But
somebody a little more seasoned in battle probably wouldn't have surfaced so obviously. Maybe just been a little more subtle about it, stayed under the water as much as they could.
Did Moondancer try to go, like, even while they were down, like, go down and, like, grab him and just not able to get him?
Right before, she tried to do the same thing she did the first time, and couldn't because he was too close to the water. So she did try. Lohar was just pure cringe. Actor is terrible. I want to correct you there. Actor is terrible. Damn it. This thing. I had to force myself to watch this. 2 years is too long of a wait. We can all agree there. And I don't care about anyone outside of Damon. The whole episode, I wanted to shut it off and watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms instead. I may dip out soon. I don't blame you.
Why would you
Ken
watch
Bursky.
it? That's how you feel.
I got my steel book of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's glorious. It's got all the little features, and it's a great show. Let's go.
It's the battleship. Their droid
Let's
control
go.
systems are down.
We're going. Thank you for the
Okay, so
$20.
I just turned it on real quick, and, like, she does try to get him and not.
Yeah.
But then, like, once Vermax is, like, in the water and, like, submerging, like, Bela is there, like, yelling Jace, and she's about to turn back, and then another shot from one of those projectiles, like, whizzes right past her, and she kind of has to bank and can't get to him.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good enough because I was looking at it as well. Because there's like a whole minute that goes by after that of him struggling. It's like she's going back in, I think, to do everything she can to save him.
I'm fine with, I think, what they showed.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it too, even though I wish a different outcome happened because I want Jace to win.
She turns and she burns that ship. There's no question.
There's about from the time they show it, there's about like 25 seconds maybe before Jace is submerged and underwater. From that point, we have to see her beg to go the other way. I'm fine with it.
I'm saying she turns immediately and burns the ship because that's all she needs to do to save him.
I'm trying to catch up to the part.
Like, it's one of those, perfect in hindsight kind of things. In the heat of the moment, I could see someone making.
I'd argue the reverse. She's going to be so emotionally invested, she'd make the mistake of putting herself at risk to save him.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's her future husband. That's the
I'm not saying I
throne.
couldn't see it go that way, but I'm okay with what they did show. Like, I think it's justified enough.
I disagree.
Now you can never talk to each other again.
Bye, Shad. Bye, Ryan.
Yeah, you're dead to me.
Just tell me when you need to bail. Okay.
Go for a few more minutes.
All right. Thanks, man. Forest Beyond the Trees for 20 says, when Sheep Stealer puked up sheep, for a minute, I thought we might be getting.
Alrighty.